Right, welcome back to the channel. Following on from the last episode where we cleaned up the rear hub. Got a lot of parts on the bench, mostly the rear end. Some of these parts are already done, some need more work. Got the spokes for the rear hub. I've also got the original rim. Unfortunately, due to cost at the moment, I'm going to have to use the original rim. It needs clean up, but it's actually, for its age, it's actually not too bad. So I'll show you in a second what we've got, but as I say, this will probably run into a two-parter because there is quite a lot to go through. I want to try and get the hub laced into the rim. The sprocket carrier bearing's got to be pulled. Obviously in the last episode we pulled the bearings out of the rear hub, cleaned up the sleeve and the circlip. I've got the bearings on order, they're not here as yet, so obviously I can't fit the bearings, but we will cover that. Also the rear brake torsion bracket, I've unwrapped that. I actually painted that a while ago. I'm going to leave that black for now. It does go quite well with the chrome. I actually realised as well, the actual rear brake lever where you've actually got the indicator and the actual lever itself, I'd actually cleaned up the wrong one. That was what I had in the box, that's what I cleaned up. It actually should be that. So where that's come from, no idea. So I'll show you what needs cleaning up and then we can crack on. So I've laid all the spokes out. Obviously it's 40 in total. You've got the two different types, your inners and the outers. And say the rim, I'm going to give it a clean up. Obviously the hub we covered in the last episode. So I've pulled everything out of this. This is complete for the rear end. So the spindle bolt needs a bit more cleaning. Actual indicator, well, the sits on there. I'm actually missing, there should be like a washer between the two, so I need to get that in. The actual spindle that comes through needs cleaning up. That's in a bit of a state, so we'll clean that up as well. The stoppers that go on the end of the swing arm, again we'll clean and then paint those. See if I can save the bolts. So the aim will be clean up these two bolts, strip these down, clean them up, get them painted. Strip these down a little bit further, take the bolts out, clean the bolts up, try and get these polished. That just needs to clean up under the wire wheel. See if I can save that. It's not looking too brilliant. As I say, pull that bearing out as well. So a lot to be getting on with. So there's always stuff to do. So as I say, this will more than run into a two-parter. I'll do a to be continued at the end, as I've sometimes done, and then that will continue over. Uncovered the engine as well. Really need to get back into that, get some more focus back in. Other than that, I really can't think of anything else. As I say, there's plenty to do, so let's crack on. So I've swapped wheels over, I've gone to the wire wheel. I'll start cleaning some of these bits up. So that's what I'm starting out with. That's the state of the actual stoppers on the back of the swing arm. Again, surprise, surprise, these were painted blue too. So again, I'm going to run these under a wheel. These bits have already started to clean up, so I'm going to continue on, get these all clean, because I don't want to bore you with watching this. I'll move then onto the actual coarse scourer, and then onto the finer scourer. As I say, these will be run under as well. I want to try and get these as polished as I can, or at least clean, nice flat surface. So again, let me continue on with this and I'll show you the results. Right, so I've moved from the wire wheel through to the coarse wheel and then into the green softer wheel. Gone through all the parts. They've started to clean up. Still some work to do on some of these. I'll probably go in with wet and dry on these bits. They've just gone back to bare metal, so they're going to be painted. They should polish up nicely. And those I've already jumped forward and actually given a polish. And that one just won't do anything. I'm going to probably have to replace that. That's the bolt that fits in there. So that will just be, rub the end down slightly and then polish that end. The rest of it will be greased when it goes through, because obviously it sits on the spline, and obviously you've got the indicator as well. So we're going to paint them too. They're done. Polish them, wet and dry, wet and dry, just wet and dry the end. Right, so next stage, I'm going to see if I can get these a better finish. I'll choose the best side for the outer side. As you can see, some of them are quite rough. So I'm going to run these through wet and dry. Same with this part. That's fine now. I can sit to one side. These can sit to one side, they'll be painted. I'll do them in the tough black. So I'll spray those up in a bit. Then bolts are done. And just try and get these bolts up. So I'm going to run these through the wet and dry, see if I can get them down as smooth as possible. And I'll show you the results after. You've seen me wet and dry many times, so I'm not going to bore you with more wet and drying. That's going to take a little bit more, because it is quite pitted. So let me run that through and I'll show you the results. Right, so these have started to come up. As you can see the pitting in there. I'm going to have to go down a little bit further with the sanding. That's got a lot of pits in it. But that's the effect I'm going for. Just polished up them bolts as well. So I just need to get this smoothed down a bit more. These are obviously the, well, as far as I know, the originals. But it's like I'll continue on with those because that's going to take more time, and especially that as well. I'll keep rubbing that down. So they're done. That one I'm just going to leave in there for now. I can't save it, it's too far gone. Right, so I'm just going to hook these up, put a little bit of paint on these, and then leave them to dry. Next we'll move on to the sprocket carrier and get this bearing out. Alright, so just giving these a quick spray. So I'll just put them off to one side just to dry, and then we'll pull this bearing out. Alright, having fun with this, I've actually tried the big puller on it, and the inner hole, I haven't got anything the right size. I have got a smaller puller set which I tried on it, and that's just not moving it. So I'm actually going to try for now a socket and see if I can loosen it up and push it through. Right, it looks as though that is actually starting to move. So a bit more penetrating fluid, and I'll let that soak for a few minutes. Has moved slightly. As you can see, the state of the bearing is pretty nasty. Alright, so let's try that again. Yep, definitely moving. Would have preferred to use the puller. This is a bit abusive, but as it's an old bearing, it's coming out, so that's nearly out. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Yeah, that's a nasty bearing. Right, I can go to one side. clean out in there. Looks a lot better. Alright, so that's another job ticked off the list. As I say, bearings have been ordered, are on their way. So that's looking better. Still wondering whether to go in a little bit heavier on the cleaning before, see if I can take out some of these pit marks. But gives you an idea of the actual finish effect. So just mock this up loosely at the moment. There should be a washer between the two. And obviously with the brake arm or torsion arm, I'll leave that black. The actual main pole we've actually cleaned, that's tucked away. Yeah, happy with that effect. As I say, more to do on this. No, as I say, so more to do on these. I'll keep going on with them. More to do on this bit. I think I might give this just this edge going round. You can see it's quite pitted in places, and then we can move on to cleaning up the rim. I'll dismantle this part and then we'll start getting some spokes in. Alright, so I'm just going in. It's grade 00 wire wall. There is a lot of in-ground dirt. just a case of just working all the way around. Would have been nice to put a brand new rim on the back, but at the moment finances won't quite stretch to that, but it's something I can bring in later on. This is actually starting to clean up quite well. As I compared with what it was. That I'll probably run through the wire wheel just to get off any loose. Right, so I'm going to continue on with this rim, get that clean, and we can start laying out some spokes.